All right, guys, welcome in. Welcome back to Above Ground World News. Hopefully the microphone is working. Are we coming in loud and clear? All right, so we got tons of devastating weather news that's going on, and it's all being fabricated. We'll get into all this. We think we know who's to blame. And hopefully we can send some letters and make some calls and make the people accountable for these storms that shouldn't be forming, but they are. And we'll get into all that. We just got a couple headlines where we jump into these maps. So let's get into them. Let me pause this right now. All right, so we're tracking Imelda. Not sure how to pronounce. I didn't watch any mainstream today. I try not to be influenced by other channels or mainstream. And this is a typical rain bomb. This is like we called it, days ago. This is a rain bomb that was fabricated out of nothing. And we're going to show you. We'll show you exactly how this shouldn't have been a nothing burger. But now we're looking at cataclysmic rain. They're saying it's worse than a hurricane. Rain bomb without the wind. Well, they did have a tornado. So we'll get into the maps and all that, the details of it. But here we go. This happened again in Hawaii. Actually, they keep having these mistakes. Check this out. Whoops, my finger slipped. Hawaiians were panicked as the police trigger a false tsunami warning during a training exercise. What the heck is the police doing with the tsunami warning button? Shouldn't that be, to a somebody that works with the earthquakes, like or a volcanologist or somebody? But the cops, what are they doing with a trigger like this? So in a somewhat disturbing case, a deja vu, the emergency warning siren sounded in several parts of Hawaii early Wednesday morning, evoking memories of the January's false ballistic missile alert. Remember that? They thought missiles were coming in, nukes were coming in, and just scared the crap out of everybody in Hawaii. Well, another one happened, this morning. Well, I guess Wednesday there. Thursday for us, or I don't know. The alarm was inadvertently set off during Honolulu Police Department dispatcher training. In a dispatcher, somebody that answers the phones, for some bizarre reason, was done on live equipment rather than using training software. I just want to apologize to the public, the police chief said, Susan Ballard, in an interview to the Hawaii News Now. She should be fired. This is the second time in 1 year that mass panic has set in by these people. This time it took them not as long to get it turned off. It took 12 minutes for the state agencies to confirm to the public it was a false alarm. It took them 28 minutes when they thought the missiles were coming in. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I thought we have, all this really good technology, but we have dummies with their fingers on the trigger. All right, well, we were talking the last couple of days down there in New Zealand, there off of the coast of Christchurch. In fact, I might be able to take us over there real quick. Of all the electromagnetic energy we've seen in the clouds. Now, there's a company right here in Australia that uses electromagnetics for rain enhancement. We documented the story and where he put the fires out in Tasmania, and we're always watching down here. We're seeing the aerosols that are being deployed, but we had some weird electromagnetic clouds down there. Well, guess what happens? This happens every single time. Every time we find these clouds, something washes up on the shores. I mean, this is just one dot to the bunch of dots that we're going to be connecting tonight to show that they're messing with the ionosphere. They're creating these weather events. So anyway, 4 adult pilot whales, part of a pod of 30 beached, were found by joggers. I mean, every time, man, we get this. Now we got something else very strange going on. Mysterious waves have been pulsing across Oklahoma. Now, we just had the guy that built Hart on here last week. We had Alana Freeland, how they talked all about the technologies that they're using, the space fence, the ionospheric heating, how everything is being pulsed, and all that stuff. Well, we had these mysterious waves that had been pulsing across Oklahoma. A buzz at Wxxxx State all summer sent geologists chase and unearth new mysteries about how energy moves through the land and the air. It all started when a wave swept across Oklahoma on June 24th, just before 11 a.m. It buzzed one size monitor after another, seeming to ping-pong hundreds of miles across the state. This wave just breezed by. It pulsed like a geologic heartbeat for about 10 minutes. When we get into all the technology on the pulse weapons, the beam weapons, the microwave weapons, the laser weapons, you know, this thing was, you know, we're seeing all these different signs. And, you know, when you add all these signs together, it's pointing to the weather modification. You know, there is often noise detected at stations, which could be a truck drive-by or a cow walking past a sensor. Figure out which signal. That's not where I really wanted to go here. But anyway, here, let me just kind of get down here. Okay, in the case of the strange signal, the body waves were absent. The signal also pulsed unnaturally, arriving in short pops, usually separated by 20 seconds, with some intensity as strong as a 2.2 tremor. We dubbed the acoustic pattern the anomaly. And there's a big article about it. But the first thing I thought of when I got into this is I started thinking about not the holes in the ionosphere. Where is it? Oh, I started thinking about this. The Laser Gravitational Wave Observatory. And when you look at where these things are positioned, guess one's up by the Hanford Nuclear Facility, one's down here in I can't remember if that's Louisiana, but it goes right through the center of Oklahoma. Now, if there was some kind of gravitational wave or some kind of pulse, this thing would pick it up. So I'm going to try to do some more digging to see if these twin detectors picked up these weird pulses that were going across Oklahoma. Now, these are a direct effect of the ionosphere turning into a plasma antenna. And we're going to show you, you know, I got a bunch of stuff to show you here, but just let me jump real quick over here to the hole in the ionosphere. The ionosphere is where all the ionospheric heaters do their work. I'm going to put this on the temperature so you can see the rapid heating event that's going on right over the Antarctic. Let me make sure we're on now. I think I went back. So this thing has blew all the cold air up in the stratosphere that was parked over Antarctica, and it's up here in South America. Look, I can click right here on the pole, minus 18.8 degrees. Look, I can go up here, way up here in almost Argentina, and it's minus 57.9. Oh, that's Celsius here. It's minus 72.2 degrees in the stratosphere above like Argentina or Paraguay or whatever's down there. But, you know, right here, we're looking at 25.4 degrees right in the center, minus 1.6. So all the cold air has been blew away from the Arctic, and here's the rapid heating event. You see me talking about these rapid heating events all the time. And what they call it's a hole in the ionosphere is caused by a sudden stratospheric warming. Now this happened over the winter time when they moved the polar vortex right over America, and we documented that too. We documented it was emanating from the Russia-China region. They pushed it right over the United States, and it drifted too far. It went over to the Europe. So then they heated it up from the other side, from the same area, but they pushed it back over, right over the United States, and kept it there for a month and a half. I mean, they have all this technology. They're using this technology, and this is just a small part of the technology. More articles about how they're saying this is worse than Hurricane Harvey in Texas. Well, there's a lot of other things you have to look into. If you didn't know, the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Texas Driver's License Bureau, they're harvesting the Texas skies with cloud seeding operations all over Texas. This is where you need to get and start sending letters to the License Bureau, send letters to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And I'll play a little clip here of the meeting that they had this year. But they're harvesting the skies. And I mean, all you gotta do is type in TDLR, Texas Driver's License Weather Modification. You get right to their company. Here we are, the Weather Modification Advisory Committee. We're at the Texas License Bureau. Look, you go to license types, get your air conditioning, laser hair removal, you know, polygraph exam. Look down here at the very last one, weather modification. People don't believe this stuff is going on. It's going on every day. How about up in Idaho? They're using ground-based little antennas that are shooting rockets up into the air, pushing, you know, silver iodide rockets from ground-based towers, and they're shooting flares up into the sky to create the snow. And these things, you know, farmers can go buy these cloud ionizers and all these, and the hail suppression cannons and all that stuff. This is just going on. I mean, I can't even keep up with all these weather weapons that you're using. I mean, here, see, this is a mobile unit where they can make it snow. They can, you know, do all kinds of things. Here, this just come out August 26, 2019. Desperate for new water supplies. The SLL County bets on cloud seeding program. Idaho Power can make it snow. Increasing water reservoirs. You know, there's all kinds of technology to mitigate and steer hurricanes. But they don't do it for good. Not one time have they used it for good. They always use it for the bad. Before I get in here, let's just play a little clip of the Texas Weather Modification Licensing and their recap of the 2018 cloud seeding. I'm not going to play it all because it's long, but I'm going to play a few minutes of it. That way you're not getting it from me. You're getting it straight from them. We're going to dig into all the radars and stuff, but here, let me play just a little clip of this.
We've had a lot of cases where we were seeding storms that had no business being seeded. We were just kind of throwing darts, and we were seeing responses in some of those. So we are learning that maybe there's more opportunity with some of these. Maybe we don't even need to have a rain cloud. We could go work cumulocongested clouds that aren't really precipitating yet, and if it has inflow, maybe we could get something to work. Year one, we had the air tractor that the USDA provided, so dosaging was a lot better. We were getting about 40 to 45 gallons per cloud. That aircraft wasn't available in year two, so we took one of our Comanches and converted it.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm George Bomar, Weather Modification Program Specialist in the Office of Innovation and Project Management. Since our last meeting in November, we have had completed the radar-derived assessment of cloud seeding operations done in Texas during 2018. That study is done on an annual basis by Dr. Ruiz out of Texas Tech University. That report just arrived, so it's not loaded on your desktop computer, but I did make a paper copy for you, and I'd like to just point out a number of features of that annual evaluation report. 5 of the cloud seeding projects that are conducted for rain enhancement purposes, 4 of those are included in this assessment. The projects based in White Deer, San Angelo, Pecos, and Pleasanton. In 2018, there were a total of 262 clouds seeded. On 87 distinct days, we had at least 1 aircraft in the air seeding in order to enhance the output from young thunderstorms. And I'm going to just refer to a few really significant numbers that are in this report and compare them with the long-term average. Dr. Ruiz has been doing this assessment for a number of years, and as you know, his evaluation is based upon looking at systems, cloud cells, that are seeded.
So I'm not going to play a bunch of this video, but what they get into is they tell you like how many clouds they seeded. They talk about how they produce 45% more rain per storm. When we looked at all the flooding across the Midwest, now down in Texas, down in, you know, everywhere they got flooded this year, every one of the rainstorms were getting 35 to 45% more rain every single storm. Now this is just one aspect. Now you got bunker fuel that's being deployed out in the Pacific that adds to this. You got the ground-based cloud generators, all the power plants. You have the cell phones. You have the cloud ion. I mean, there's just so many things to name. The whole thing is pretty much weather on demand. They can control this stuff. They could have put the fires out in Paradise, but they didn't. They burned it to the ground. Then they brought the rains in to wash away the evidence. They did the same thing in Australia just last week. Now they also get into using electric cloud seeding with these planes. They get into talking about how they seeded clouds that were already thunderstorm warned. Now all these storms that they're seeding are getting bigger. They're putting out way more precipitation, up to 45% more precipitation, and then you notice that all the lightning is different. There's so much lightning because of all the particulates that are being deployed in the air, from the land, from the sea, from the ground. You know, everything. They could be using this stuff for good, but they're not. You know, for anybody that thinks that they're not doing this, you know, I've got several videos on how they talk about using, you know, some of these companies are using ionospheric heating like Hart. But now all the next grads have been upgraded. They're all little miniature Hart arrays. They're phased array antenna arrays. I mean, HARP is the most powerful right now till the IceCat gets built. But you got Arecibo, you got Peru, you got China, you got Japan. I mean, they're all over the place. You know, yeah, 11 billion settlement from PG&E. Yeah, nobody will get that money. Did you know that PG&E is also the same company that works with Solarian? It's a laser-based satellite weapon. Yeah, they're all these mega corporations are all in this together. Just like when these storms hit, they're trading stocks and stuff. Like they know that the Home Depots and the Lowe's are going to make a bunch of money with a hurricane coming in. They get the heads up on this stuff. It's ridiculous what these technocrats are doing. So we'll get into some more stuff. I wanted to show this post. My friend here, Pete Ramon, man, he is always posting just bombshell research over here on Facebook. And he's really been digging in on these nanostructures by ionizing radiation. And you can see all these different hybrid nanoparticles, nanowhisker, nanocrystals, nanofibers, nanowire, nanocomposite. Man, just all kinds of stuff. And then when you get in and see all the other research that he has on here, it's just ridiculous. All the stuff that he finds. Vaporization process. When the material is vaporized by plasma. See, that's what ionospheric heating does. It turns the ionosphere into a plasma antenna. Don't believe me? Here, listen to the guy from Hart.
We're not using chemicals fired through rockets like other technologies use. We use a very gentle but powerful technology.
So almost everybody in the room understands the importance of the ionosphere. A lot of us have measured it and modeled it. We measured it with sounding rockets or optical instruments, ionosondes, radars, satellites. But if you're looking for a particular phenomenon, you either have to sit on the ground and wait for it to happen, or go fly a satellite, get a bunch of data, and sort through the data to find it to happen, find where it happened. But the beauty of an active facility like Hart is that you can flip a switch and make something happen. If you got enough power, you can focus gigawatts into a small region of the ionosphere. And there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can create currents, you can create artificial glows, you can create waves, low frequency waves. It's quite exciting. So,
all right, hopefully the screen is back. I don't know why it was stuck on that screen on your guys' end. On my end, it's working fine. Anyway, guys, so anyway, this stuff is going on. We try to show this proof every night. We show, you know, ionospheric heater, thermal plasma. But, you know, this guy is constantly digging into some deep research on this stuff. You know, it's just insane, man. So it's all going on. Let me go ahead and jump off there. And what I wanted to show you here, let me go to the rain. Or here. I took this back to the 16-day forecast that we did on Sunday night. And I want to show you how the storm shouldn't even have been there. It should have been just a little rain event. So here we are on Wednesday, September 18th. But we're looking at it from last Sunday's perspective. So I'm going to scroll this up. Here's Wednesday, the 18th, 19th. This is Thursday. This is today. This is what the forecast models were showing. You know, most of the rain was out here off the coast. We're looking at 3.5 inches. I think I called for 10 to 12 inches. You know, I didn't think it was going to be like a major rain bomb. So now let me get it back on to today. Let's get it to the up to date, and it's still not showing the rain. What's going on? We'll see if it's updated. Look, let me back up here. It's not showing the amounts of rain that's happening. So even the models cannot pick up what's really happening, because it shouldn't be there. The atmospheric conditions should not have produced this storm. I mean, look, I'm going all the way back. This is the 21st, 20th. Let me go all the way back here. So why? Yeah, okay, Thursday. Let me get right here. So, all right, so now we're back up here. Okay, so let me back this up now. That's weird. It's like I was in the future or something. So let's get this just back and show you that the amount of rains that come in shouldn't have been there. So here we are back on the 19th. Where am I at here? Am I looking at the right date? So this is 6-hour forecast. All right, so here we go. This is showing the precipitation going into Friday, going into Saturday. Now they just parked this system there. And when you look at all the wind datas and all the high pressures and low pressures, this thing shouldn't have been parked. This thing should have been kicked out. It should have went north. But still, it's not showing the amounts of rain that they're getting. It's showing 5.5 to 6 inches of rain. So how are they getting 20, 24 inches of rain? It's not even coming up on the models. Let me go ahead and put it on the regular precipitation. That was the total total amount of rainfall. So not one model is showing the amount of rain it's getting. It's like the model cannot even go that high, but it's not buried into the purples. See, we can fast forward this to where we can get like a hurricane or something on here, and I know there's a pretty wicked storm brewing down there in the Bajas. So what gives, man? Nothing is showing what they're getting at all. None of the maps. And even when we look at this is the cloud temperatures. This is not the, I know a lot of people see this map and think that's the rain, but it's not. But look, this is right where I showed you the gravitational wave thing. It's actually lined up. I know that's not emanating that now, but it should detect these weird anomalies and stuff. So there's actually going to be one way worse down here. Look at this, the cloud temperature down here in the Bajas, man. I mean, look at this thing just blow up in super black, almost white. So it's just pretty crazy here that the radar maps are not even picking it up. And the other thing is the storm is not following the wind currents. It's being parked there. Look, you see all the clouds are going from east to west right here. And then you got these going up and around. This thing should be circulating up north, just like up here. It should be being pulled up over the Midwest, you know, pretty much merging with the storms up and out where they've been pulling them right here in Iowa, Wisconsin, this other target zone. But it's not. It's just sitting here. It's emanating from one spot. That's why we're going to have to get into the radars, see what are the radars doing. This storm should not be what it is. So let me go ahead and I can show you a little bit of stuff on here. We can also see when we look at the clouds, like I can't really go fast with this, but I can go back days. And what you're going to notice, everything is moving like it should except for that storm. So here we are back on the 16th. In fact, I can probably go back. That's all I had loaded. So this storm actually kind of originated right where the heavy aerosols were being deployed in the Gulf of Mexico. You had heavy aerosols all the way in front of Hurricane Humberto, all the way up, and then you had a cloud seeding a ship track bunker fuel operation right here. Then the next day it was right there off the coast of Portugal, up off the coast of France. But look at all the storms when I go forward. They all move except for this one. Like storms should not be parked. We have winds every level that are moving around, but this thing is emanating from the same spot, and it reminds me of that heat anomaly there off the Galapagos Islands a couple weeks ago, how it was heated the exact same size as a hurricane. So none of this stuff is adding up, just like Dorian didn't add up, just like we got ship tracks out here today. Just like Hurricane Michael, that was a man-made hurricane, man-steered. So, yeah, definitely some crazy stuff. Then we got the hole in the ionosphere down here from a rapid heating event. It wasn't a solar flare. It's ionospheric heating. they're like, you know, the ionosphere is like 30 miles deep, or it could be more than that, but they like push it out and pull it out, and then it like snaps back like a rubber band, and you get these rapid heating events. This was not caused by anything other than ionospheric heating. It wasn't a solar flare. It wasn't any of that stuff. You know, it got hit a little bit from solar wind the other day, but that only lasted like a couple days. This thing has been going on for a long time. I'm going to try to fast forward this up. And then we'll just kind of check the winds on the storms and stuff. So they're keeping it heated. Whoa, look at that. They're keeping it heated right over Antarctica. What are they, you know, this is really a strange event that's going on down here. I mean, just mega one. So anyway, let's get back into the storm in Texas. Remember, see this circle? I don't know if you guys could see it there, but we're up in the ionosphere, and you can see these, hopefully you can see these black, darker lines. It looks like a vortex centered right over directly in the middle of the United States. That's showing you that there's something being heated right here in the ionosphere. Let me go ahead and take that off. Let's get this back on the winds, and then we'll go down through the levels and see if we could see what winds kept us in the same spot. So here we are at 10 HPAs. Let's go ahead and go down to 70. Everything is blowing, you know, east to west. Let's check the jet stream. Here we are looking at the jet stream. So we got the jet stream winds coming over, and we got this trough right here in the jet stream, which before the whole jet stream was bypassing the whole southern United States. In fact, the jet stream, I could just go back like a week or something, and it was staying up right at the border of Canada and the United States. So they're starting to split it off now. So we do have the winds coming from west to east here, but then you have everything else. Let's go down to the vortice layer. And we can see in the vortice layer, look, there's the center. That's where it's all happening. Let me see if that moves. Let me back it up a few hours. And a few more hours. I'm trying to see where this thing comes from. It's just stationary. I mean, it's moving just a little bitty area. Watch where everything around it moves a long ways. This thing is just staying in like a little area. So let's go on down. Let me get it back on now. Let's go on down 700 HPAs. So that's blowing up. Try the 850s. Blowing up. See, that's where I think the storm should have lifted right up and out. It should have lifted up and then got caught up into this and then right up towards Wisconsin. So by looking at all these wind patterns, the only wind pattern that could help keep this thing in place is the jet stream. That's what they target. So every other wind in here is blowing the storm up to the north. All the other winds but the jet stream. So they're actually doing something up here. This is where they're splitting the winds off. So I'm going to dig into this tomorrow and find out exactly what's there. See if there's like a, you know, particle collider or a laser base thing. I mean, we could go look on the Climate Viewer 3D. Oh, the other thing I wanted to check out is the we'll see if this program picked up this huge amount of rain down here. I mean, this thing should be in the yellow. Make sure we're on now. Okay, let's back it up a day. Okay, we're not looking, what are we looking at here? We're looking at 3/4 of an inch of rain in 3 hours. Let's back it up another day because this thing sat here for a while. Right there, you get about 9.93 inches every 3 hours. And we go up 3 hours at a time. So right here is when it starts picking up 1.5 inches every 3 hours. So right there, you're looking at about 6 inches of rain, 6.5. You know, maybe 7 inches of rain, 8 inches of rain. How are they getting 20 inches of rain out of this? Ah, White Sands military base is right there. Good call. So even this map is not showing the amount of rains that Texas is getting. Let's just take it up. See, it's just parking there. Why is it parking there when everything else around it is moving? Everything else around it is doing what it's supposed to do, except for in this concentrated area, and then it just disappears. So no radar is picking up the amount of rain that it's showing. I mean, look right here. Here's that hurricane that's developing, and it's only putting out 2.28 inches every 3 hours. Does it even get up into the yellows? Let me back it up, see if it does. Right there, it starts to get into the yellows. If I can move my little deal here. I mean, we should be just pegged. We should be so yellow it should be white. So this storm is another one of them storms that don't make a bit of sense. It goes against all atmospheric conditions. You have the Texas weather modification down there, and I think they said they were going to do clouds sitting on up into September 28th or 26th, something like that. All right, let's see if we can pick up. Let's go to the radars. We go ahead and shut that off. We're done with that. Let's see if we can find anything going on with the radars. And hopefully I can get this loaded at least on 200 frames. I may have to like, wow, can I download this file? It's not going to give me the option to go back. I'll have to go to some stupid birding site, you know, that tells people these are birds. Yeah, I don't like Vinci Sky, man. That program is too glitchy. It shows too much of the ground clutter. I mean, when you get an anomaly on this, you know you have an anomaly. That thing produces way too much clutter. I don't like it. It don't run very good, and I don't trust it. Yeah, I try to cover, you know, the whole planet, but man, it's just almost impossible because every night there's some kind of weather event. You know, we try to cover the weather warfares that are in process, and there's so many. One person can't keep up with all this. I mean, there's no way. Yeah, see how I told you that thing was stationary? It could be a water generation plant there. I've seen some maybe possible chaff being released. We can see the radar beams are shooting out. I'm just letting this go ahead and cycle through. Yeah, see, that's emanating from one certain point. We got radars doing all kinds. Look, we have chaff being deployed. And we will zoom in. I'm going to see how close I can get with these radars. Now, I can't remember if these radars have been upgraded to the phased array. You know, this $5 billion Next rad upgraded, you know, over the next couple of years, it's going to be upgrading most of them to the phased array antennas, just like Hart, but they're mini. They're omnidirectional. They can do different tilts, different frequencies. So just trying to get this thing to load up all the way. We got a little beam shooting out of that radar. We had a little bit of a vortex spin up from that radar. Yeah, I'm going to zoom in on these real close here in a minute. I'm just trying to get this thing to get loaded all the way through, and then we'll go in and try to diagnose what they're doing. So yeah, it looked like they created almost a wind vortex out of that radar. All right, I think I'm ready to go ahead and jump into the, look at that outflow right there. No reason for that outflow. The heat should have been coming up. Oh, we also need to check. I need to get the atmospheric river running so we can check it too. And let me pick the radar. We'll start out with this radar. And while that is loading, we'll check the atmospheric river. Look at all these. Tropical Storm Kiko's still out there. Mario's out there. What? We got Lorena and Mario. Look, they're almost side by side. That's insane. How can you have two hurricanes that close together? Then we got Hurricane Jerry. Oh, we got a hurricane out here now. And look, we had a new one pop up. Tropical Storm Tapa. You know, we might need to check this, Jerry. I think the Sahara dust layer is going to wipe this one out, but I just want to check it real quick. I'm hoping that, yep, they don't even have the invest here. I can't check that mimic. Yeah, this thing's going to get blown apart by the Sahara dust, so don't even need to talk about that one. And why is this not loading yet? There it goes. Finally starting to load. All right, let's check the mimic. Yeah, it's pretty normal to get hurricanes in the Pacific, but see, we've been in this monstrous dust flow. I mean, this has just been like one of the craziest anomalies in the 7 years of documenting this stuff. This dust layer that's coming from Africa, the Sahara dust. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I've seen a couple waves a year, but this thing has been constant. It's like they're trying to blow all the dust from the Saharas. I mean, this dust should have wiped out Hurricane Dorian. It shouldn't have formed, but they like, see how there's a chunk missing out of it? That's what they did for Dorian. There was a huge flow in front of Dorian, a huge flow behind it, and it didn't start sucking the dust in until it got up past Bermuda. It should have been sucking dust in. Like this one here is already sucking the dust in. That's why you're seeing it wrap up. Like they're definitely affecting the jet streams. That's how they're steering this stuff. They're using the ionosphere, creating a plasma antenna, and then they're steering the jet stream. I mean, look at this long straight line. That's like, you know, a couple thousand miles long. That don't even make sense. So see, you're going to see this dust just overrun any development down here. And this is about as big as the dust that was coming in from Dorian. And they just stopped it back here. They wouldn't let it come no farther. I mean, this is a massive dust flow right here, and it's been going all year. And there's a reason why for that. When you go back to the wind layers, and this really isn't, you know, completely abnormal, but it's pretty damn abnormal. Like this wind right here, right above the equator. Look, they got it knocked down again. They did this during Hurricane Dorian. They slowed it down just in this area. But just to give you a comparison, I mean, it's all freaked out. And all these polar vortex winds are going to move up here to the north. And then they're going to be able to mess with the cold weather like they did last year. But let me put it on last year at this very exact time. You'll see the difference. Here's what it looked like last year. There was no super high winds north of the equator. The polar vortex winds looked fine. How about the temperature? Fine. Has a little bit of a heating event, but nothing like what's going on now. And then we can even go back farther. Let's go back to 2017. Do we have the wind anomaly? Yep, we got it. Got about the same anomaly, a little bit less, but you know. Let's go back to 2016. Nothing. Let's go back to 2015. See if we see a pattern. Nope, nothing. In fact, it was really weak. Really, really weak. And that was the El Nino year. Try 2014. Yeah, see, we had it. We had this. I mean, the one we have now is worse than any of them. So here in 2014, we had this weird, wind anomaly just north of the equator. We had it in 2018 and now 2019. So that's, that's not normal. It's not like an every year reoccurring adjustment. And here we are now. I mean, look at that. That don't even look like normal. It's got like a double, triple vortex down here. All right, so let me get back. Here we are on the mimic. Now I'm going to zoom in on the United States so we can see this particular storm. Of course they're going to control the winter weather. They did last year. If you didn't realize, if you're in the United States, the air felt so much colder. That's because they parked. I mean, I can show you. It's crazy what happened last year. Let me show you here. It happened December 24th. Let me click apply. Okay, let me put it on there. Okay, let me make sure it might have been the 17th. Okay, yeah. I gotta fix this. So it was, oh, I'm on the wrong month. It's 2018, but it was January, December. It would have been December 2017, 24th. Man, if they scrub the data. Wow, it didn't change. I'm still on the same. Then I click apply. Oh, I know what it is. Here we go. That's where I was messing up. Okay, now we should be all right. Let's click it. All right, so let me take the wind off here. This is what happened last winter. Get the wind off. I mean, this is pretty mind-blowing. So right before Christmas, over here in the Russia-China area, they tried to send us a Christmas present. Now this dark blue up here, that's the super cold polar vortex. See, they start heating up over here around the Russian woodpecker. And look, so they're heating it up. They're pushing the cold air towards America. And then here comes the bigger wave. So the second wave happened on the January 5th. Okay, so what happened? Look, they pushed the cold air too far. Look, it's going over into Europe. This is just insane. So they're heating it from over here on the around the Kamchatka, Russia side. They're pushing the cold air over, and it went too far. It got over to Europe. I mean, this is going to blow your mind. So let me get this where we can see it at a good angle. So here's the United States. Here's Europe. We're on the 10th now. So the polar vortex, the cold, the super cold, went too far. It's not over the United States. So what'd they do? They started another rapid heating event, but they start pushing it from the opposite side. I mean, to me, this is blatant evidence of how they use the ionosphere. See, now it's being heated from the completely opposite side so that they can push the cold air over the United States. We're just going up a day at a time here. For some reason, it don't look right to me. Am I going the right way? Yeah, okay, here it comes. Here comes the second wave. I don't know what's going on here. But watch how they just kind of wrap it around. And look, they push all the cold. Man, this is different. This isn't the same. I don't even know if I'm on the right date here. 2018, February. Man, I might have to go dig up the old video I did, because this isn't matching. Anyway, they parked the cold polar vortex over here for over a month, man. Like, I've never even seen this before. What is going on? All right, we're gonna have to go back and dig up the old information, because that apparently has been tampered with. All right, so here we are looking at the more microwave imagery. This is the rivers of the sky. This is the precipitation that's up in the troposphere. And what we've seen all summer long is they were pulling this atmospheric river up through the Gulf of Mexico and right up through the Midwest where all the flooding took place, and then right out where it's still going. And that's what I say. If this pattern doesn't change before winter, we're going to be looking at hundreds and hundreds inches of snow. You know, right now they got this thing all spider wet. Look how fast Humberto is spinning. That is insane right there. Look, they're trying to kill it off or something. Yeah, see, it's got these weird limbs coming into it. See, this thing is just moving totally weird directions. At least the storm is trying to spin the right way. But yeah, this is all messed up. And one of the companies that does this is that company out of Australia. You got a company in the United Arab Emirates that steers these atmospheric rivers. I know a lot of you heard this clip, but I'm going to play another clip.
So almost everybody in the room understands the importance of the ionosphere. A lot of us have measured it and modeled it. We measured it with sounding rockets or optical instruments, ionosondes, radars, satellites. If you're looking for a particular phenomenon, either
we're not using chemicals fired through rockets like other technologies use. We use a very gentle but powerful technology, launching electromagnetics into the atmosphere to modify the flow of the weather system over the ocean and drawing it into a target. So to try and keep it simple, we establish some kind of link with a weather system, and once we've seen through satellite meteorology that we have that link, we're able to draw that system in incrementally towards the target, such as in this case the Horn of Africa.
Mahendra, you call this project the Global Rain Project. Why the Global Rain Project?
Well, let me just step back. Ever since the beginning of civilization, mankind has diverted rivers on earth to wherever we wanted to practice agriculture. Now we look at the atmosphere. The oceanic, 90% of the rain, more than 90% of the rain falls on the ocean. Sure. It's only about less than 5% on earth. So the 90% that is above the oceans, these are fundamentally atmospheric rivers. And just the way we harvested rivers on earth, we should be harvesting now with new technology the rivers above the oceans and moving them to a target area. Now, why is it global? Global because climate is changing. We see the floods that are on, the droughts that are on. So weather is being modified by human activities and by natural phenomena. And today we have developed.
All right, so this is where I come in and say, it's not you, it's them. It's not our cars that are doing anything to the climate. It's these people that are steering the atmospheric rivers. It's the people that are dumping the bunker fuels out in the ocean. It's the people that are flying the planes, the drones, and the people that are running the ionospheric heaters, the cloud ionizers, the NextRad stations. That is who is responsible for the heating of the planet or the cooling of the planet, depending on what they want to do. They have their hands on the thermostat of our weather. We're seeing this beam shooting out of the NextRad, and that's called searchlight mode. That's like a service mode. And whenever these beams are like locked on a target, if they're running for more than 5 to 7 minutes, there's a regulation on them. Because once they're running for more than 5 or 10, 15 minutes, they're breaking the regulations. They're ionizing the sky. They're sending out tons of frequencies, which affects the weather. It kills birds. Birds will drop out of the sky if they're in the direct beam of this, just like if you were too close to a cell phone tower. Now, we're looking at the winds here. The reds are the outflow, the greens are the inflow, and this thing isn't even making sense. I see a microwave pulse around this. So it almost, they're trying to look, the winds are being sucked into the center of the NextRad. And I'm going to show you where the microwave pulses, and we just talked about the pulses in the beginning of the show, how they are getting these weird pulses of energy that are going through Oklahoma. So, I mean, this is just like a psychedelic mad scientist going on right here. So this, they can call, like, the best way for me that I look at the ground clutter is if I go way down here to like the echo tops and see what it looks like today. I haven't looked at this radar in a while, but that radar is always like sending and receiving signals, just like the one up in Nevada. We showed that one the other night, where you could actually see these signals sending and receiving, and we'll check that one here in a second. Man, that's just some weird stuff going on that thing. So, when you look at it this way, there's really no like it's not circulating. But I do want to check this radar. Why we're here, I need to get it back on. We'll just use the base velocity or the base reflectivity. Neither one of these have had the upgrade. These are the old radars. Oh, hey, Jim Lee's out there. Yeah, check out Jim Lee. What are you talking about tonight? Bill Gates funded geoengineering, chemical cloud on MSM. Yeah, we'll send some people that way. Oh, yep, they're doing it. Let's see if we got this. Yeah, okay. I'm going to zoom in on this. All right, guys, so this is the radar. And hopefully you can see this, but you'll see the green pulse coming into the radar, and then you're going to see, I mean, they're really bright tonight, and then the outflowing pulses will go out. There's one right there. It's not showing up real good. Let me put it just on the regular base reflectivity. This is just like the thumbnail in the beginning of the video, the very beginning of this video. I have that parabolic NextRad where it's showing the differences between the pulse, the sending and receiving of the pulse beams. Oh yeah, we got a pretty good beam there, but what I want you to watch is right. I'll try to keep my mouse on these things. And you're going to see what looks like clouds coming into the radar and going out, and they have nothing to do with the rain. So we got a little zapper right there, but okay, here comes one in right into the radar. Here comes another one into the radar. And another one in. I'm having a hard time seeing. I did see one going out, but yeah, there's one right there. There's one coming in. Another one coming in. Another one coming in. See, this is sending and receiving. This thing should be, you know, a Doppler radar. The thing is supposed to be spinning. This beam right here should be spinning. It shouldn't be on a fixed location. Now, all this real bright stuff that you're seeing, that's either like a solar farm or a wind farm or solar farms. Which you know, all this stuff can affect the weather, even the wind farms. The whole point is the weather is not natural. It used to be natural many, many years ago, but it is not no more. People need to be held accountable. And Jim over there at Climate Viewer News, he has the Weather Modification Act that would at least hold these companies accountable when they modify the weather. Hell, check him out tonight. He'll be able to get into that. Let me put this on 200 frames. We're going to check the seeding operations real quick. The artificial clouds, they call them cirrus clouds. I call them chemtrails. You know, I'm going to call them what they are. I mean, to me, a contrail takes a chemical reaction to form. It takes metal particulates for the water droplets to stick to. Now, it's what could, you know, what all could be in these droplets is a whole nother game. But this is weather warfare. Oh, wow. Look at that crap down there. So you do have what I call segmented sprays down here in the Gulf of Mexico. They're feeding it from the southern part. Mass spraying operation over Oklahoma, Missouri. Filmed it all yesterday, all up in the Hudson Bay, up in Canada. But there you go, guys. So this is tonight's edition of the Weather Warfare Watch. Anyway, guys, we're gonna. Oh, you got the new Climate Viewer 3D. Cool. I'll check that out tomorrow. I'll use it on the show. I'm gonna show people how to submit their pictures to the Climate Viewer site, and then you can see where everybody has posted their pictures, man. And the more we get on there, then you can say, hey, go look. Here's all the people that are posting the aircraft that are mucking up the sky in their states, and then we'll have like a pattern. We'll be able to see the pattern. But anyway, guys, we're going to call this show. My voice is about to shoot out. Go check Jim's show out. Much love, guys. We're going to play a song called Rise. You know, be the resistance. Be an activist. Don't just sit there and do nothing. Make some flyers. Call, you know, your representatives. Go to the city council meetings en masse. You know, 10, 12 people going to a city council meeting probably is going to get you nowhere. But if you have people standing room only, you got people wrapping around the corners to get in there, that's how you make a difference. Turn off the mainstream news. That's how you make a difference. But anyway, guys, let's rise. Much love out there. Here we go. Let's rock. Turn it up.